Hello guys, this is Zombie Tech LP, and I'm going to be making a tutorial, or a two-part tutorial, on how to record and edit videos with a free program. Both are free programs, the recording and editing. And so, I'm going to get started. The name of the program is MSI Afterburner, the site right here. The link will be in the description for those of you who want to download it. And all you're going to have to do on this site is press this big button right here, and you will end up downloading a file that looks a lot like this zip. And the version may be slightly different, I'm not sure. But all you have to do is open this in your favorite unzipping program, so 7-zip or WinRAR or WinZip, or I'm pretty sure even the one that comes with Windows will work. And you just open it, and you're going to run MSI Afterburner setup and then the version.exe, not the combustor, because the combustor is a different program. Afterburner is what we want because it has the recording program. So all you have to do is double click on this in your program, and you don't need to extract or anything because it is a lone file. And so that is how you would install MSI Afterburner. It will take you through your normal next, I agree, that kind of thing. And then you're going to need to set your settings. You're going to need to run the program, and it should appear in your tiny taskbar, or sometimes it'll appear down here, but I would expect it over here. And I'm going to click on the one without any numbers on it, just the airplane, and it pops up right here. And this is actually an overclocking program, so don't be freaked out by all the crazy stuff. Just click on settings and bother with this. Now, on general, this is kind of general settings, as it kind of says, and you can click on start with Windows and start minimize, and those are the main things. The rest of the stuff has to do with overclocking and beta versions, of course. Next we were worried about is on-screen display, and you're going to make sure this is unchecked, or else inside your video you will actually see the frame counter or wherever you put it, and that doesn't look nice. However, later in this video, I will check this for demonstration during a test I'll be doing for you guys. And then video capture. This is the main one we're worried about. Now, this has a lot of different stuff, but the stuff you're worried about, I'll tell you about right now. Some of the stuff is useless. Some of the stuff can make or break your video. Now, your hotkey, that doesn't really matter. That's your choice. Just make sure it doesn't do any special stuff. So, like, don't make your hotkey like, I don't know, your shutdown key or something. Just don't do that. And video format, you have 4 choices. I recommend doing uncompressed or MJPG. If you've got the computer space and a little bit more processing power, uncompressed is the way to go, but it makes enormous file sizes. MJPG, on the other hand, is a much smaller file size, and it takes a slightly less toll on your CPU. Next, quality. Quality, self-explanatory. If you want high quality video, more space. Low quality video, less space. It's not a very big file size, but it's very ugly. Frame size, very important. Frame size is how you gauge your video, what size it is, if it's all the way around your screen, things like that. With MSI Afterburner, if you're running a 3D program like a game as opposed to your desktop, it automatically does this for you, so you will not have to cut out your, say, taskbar if you're running a windowed game in your editor, because it does it for you. But this is a very important space. So I recommend 16 by 9 720p. Whatever you do, you want to have it 16 by 9, because otherwise you will get black bars on YouTube and basically anywhere else. You'll get black bars on the edges or top of your video, and it doesn't look nice. So if you can do 1080, then power to you, because it's amazing. If you can do 720, that is what I recommend. If your computer is kind of weak, then use 480. Don't use anything lower than 480 because it looks really cruddy. And full frame is just record your full screen, no matter the it records the full resolution, no matter what. Like if you have taskbar or anything, it just records it. frame rate. So what your target frame rate is, what you're trying to record at. I recommend 30 frames per second or 60 frames per second if your computer's stronger. 60 is more for if you're going to do slow-mo or things like that, and 30 is just the smooth stuff. Frame rate limit, and just set that if you're going to be running games that are very unintensive and don't use much CPU, because you don't want to be capturing 2,000 frames per second and taking up all kinds of space. And video folder, that's just kind of where you want it. It doesn't really matter. That's once again personal preference. And you can basically skip this entire part unless you're using Sony Vegas, then this is important. And, well, I'm pretty sure. I don't use Sony Vegas. Audio capture properties. So if you're going to be doing live commentary as well as system sound, so game sounds, you're going to want Wasabi capture device, and you can either leave it at auto select or you can define it. It doesn't matter. I define it because I find it easier. Wasabi playback device, and you can define it if you want. So this is what's coming out of your computer. This is what's coming out of your mic, and that's the important stuff. Make sure this is clicked and make sure this is stereo rip. And that's all we care about on this. So next we're going to go to the on-screen display server right here, and this is important later, but not right now. So this is personal choice. This must be on. This is something we'll bother with later. This does not have to be on. It does not have to be off. This is not very important. This must be on. This is personal preference. This is personal preference. This is how it looks. So these look very different, as you can see. I prefer this. And this is how big it is. I'm going to go back to how I had it. And then shadow. That's whether you have a little black shadow around it. You can actually choose what color it is. Right here with the palette. And I'm not sure what this does actually, so I'm not going to mess with it. I just leave it right here. I don't want to mess with it. And show own statistics. That's very important because everything can work right here, but if you're not able to see it, it doesn't really help you. So, yeah. That's the main setup for recording. So, I'm going to stop recording right now. And I am recording with MSI Afterburner, and I'm going to show you a very short clip with Terraria running, and I'm also going to have a benchmark so you can see the FPS counter and whatnot. So I will see you guys then. So guys, I'm back. As you can see, I'm running Terraria. For those of you who haven't heard about the game, it's really cool, and you guys should be able to see the stuff that's going on over here. What you're concerned about should be the time and your frames. So that's your frames you're recording it at, and then this is the time you've been recording, and this is the file size. That's the main stuff that matters. This stuff over here is just there. I'm not sure what it means because I'm not like a total guru about this stuff, but I'm just showing you that this does work in game, and you should not be able to see anything but the game. You should not be able to see the windowed part above this game or the taskbar below it. So I will see you back at the desktop where we will mess with troubleshooting, well, one form at least. So back at my desktop, I forgot to tell you something. If you can see your mouse kind of flickering a little bit, I don't know if you guys see it on here, you probably don't, but if you see your mouse flickering a little bit, that means you're recording. So if you set this to basic, that's not something I'm going to show you how to do because that's not going to be covered in this video. So that it doesn't lag out or anything, just set it to basic. But if you do have it, the way to know if you're recording or not is if your mouse is kind of flickering. But now to show you what happens if for some reason it won't record your desktop and it doesn't like you. That is going to be on your display server, not your actual MSI Afterburner. But to find out what's causing it, you're going to need your MSI Afterburner. So you press the little I that I clicked right here, and it brings up an information panel. And you can see this line right here is what we're worried about. As you can see, there is no active 3D process detected, which means there's nothing to record but the desktop. So when I was recording Terraria.exe would be right here, so it would record that as opposed to the desktop. Now, if for some reason, let's say you have Chrome.exe here, because it doesn't like Google Chrome or something like that, Then you would go to your your statistics server, and you would, if you can't find it, you're gonna press this up, and you're going to find chrome.exe, which is somewhere. I'm not gonna find it right now. Just find what's causing the problem and add it. It will appear somewhere in this list. So I already have chrome.exe added, and all you have to do is set application detection level to none, and that should get rid of that. You may have multiple 3D programs running. Just do the same steps for each one, and you should be good to go.